Right, hello everyone. We're back with some more for chess tactics for beginners with the help of Dr. Regis's free ebook. And today's two themes in this short video are clearance and the Zwischenzug. Sounds complicated, doesn't it? Well, let's see. It's not really, I promise. So first three games are examples of clearance. And clearance is where you want to get one of your pieces out of the way or off a square so that a different piece can occupy it. That's because different pieces have different strengths. So a queen on a square instead of a knight will give you control of different squares. So you might want to move the knight out of the way and put the queen on the square, that kind of thing. So your clearance sacrifice, your clearance move to clear a square. So our first game is Berger against Frohlich in Graz in Austria, 1888. 134 years ago. There is no other game like chess for being able to dig back into the past and see fantastic stuff. And it's still exciting. All right, so we've started with e4, e5, which is helpful because they're already on the board. Knight to c3. Okay, well, I suppose it should be appropriate that a game played in Graz is the Vienna opening because it's in Austria. Knight to c6, knight to f3, and we've switched to the three knights opening now. d6, bishop to b5, bishop to g4, knight to d5, knight g to e7, d3, excuse me, sorry, I misread that. It's c3, a6, bishop to a4, b5, bishop to b3, knight to a5, and oh goodness me, what? I've just seen the next move in the book and I nearly had kittens. Okay, so clearly the next move isn't winning because the analysis bar, the eval bar, is still saying level, but I didn't expect this. Knight takes e5. And the eval bar still says it's quite level, but bishop takes queen. And there goes the eval bar because it's now mate in 2. Wow, that's incredible. I didn't expect that at all. So anyone that's not seen these videos before, I really don't look at them in advance. I just count how many games I'm going to go over so that the chapters make sense. And then I just get on with it. And this is an incredible sacrifice because if you play knight to f6 and what you're doing is clearance, is you're making a clearance for the bishop because the knight's in the way. So it's a clearance sacrifice. Knight to f6 check. The only move that's open to black, because the knight guards both squares, is pawn takes knight. And then bishop takes pawn is actually checkmate because the knight defends the bishop and defends the escape square. What a move that was. Wow. Knight takes e5. I should say that in this position, of course, if black doesn't take the queen, then they're absolutely fine. I'm just, we'll perhaps be a bit cheeky and just see what the best move is. Instinct tells me maybe knight takes bishop might be the best move, but it's not. It's the third best move. All right, fine. There's a computer saying just take this knight. I suppose that's fine because then this square is not being double attacked. Queen takes, then knight takes bishop. So I had the right idea in the wrong order. Presumably pawn takes, and you've got a relatively level game. Okay, fine. But isn't that something else? Just a queen sacrifice. Bishop takes, knight here check. There's your clearance. You cleared the knight out the way, and then it's forced mate in 2. Wow. What a finish that was for the first game. That's remarkable stuff. Okay. Right, so the next one, Dr. Dave in his book always gives these little games little titles, and this one is called You're in My Seat. So I assume a piece is going to jump into someone else's square. We've got Tozza against Masquero from Berlin, and we're going back to the two previous centuries again, 1896. So this is 125 years ago as I record. Unreal. E4. Oh, and turn the lines off for the minute. E5, knight to f3 and d6. So Philidor defense, d4, and oh, is this going to happen? F5. Wow. The Philidor counter gambit. I don't think that's sound, and the computer's saying +1 and a bit for white. So this isn't the best move. I didn't think it was, but bishop to c4, f takes e4. Oh my goodness, carnage is coming. Knight takes e5. Now, presumably, if you play pawn takes knight, you're going to run into queen h5 check. And yeah, +3. Yeah, so we can't be taking the knight. It's too dangerous. So d5, leave the knight and attack the, oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Leave the knight and attack the bishop. I was just trying to do the arrow and hit the wrong mouse button. So what happens after d5? Queen to h5 check anyway. I suppose if you play g6, you're running into knight takes g6. Yeah, Eval Bar says that's okay for white. So we don't do that. In the game, black plays king to h7, and the king is getting hunted. Queen to f, oh, it's mate in 5, says the computer. Queen to f7 check, king to d6, queen takes d5 because the king is blocked to the defender. King, I have to go back to e7 here, and Dr. Dave says white really wants to play queen to e5 checkmate, and this is a classic clearance sacrifice, a vacating sacrifice. We need to get to this square. If you want to work out what the best move here is, therefore, for white, feel free to press pause, otherwise I'll carry on in 3, 2, and 1. And the point is, if this queen was here, it would actually be checkmate almost instantly, because after king to d7, queen here would be mate. But the knight's in the way. So we need to do something with the knight that forces black's hand. And the right move is knight here. Now, if king goes to this square, queen here is mate. No, bishops don't move like that. Having a nightmare with my arrows. Is mate, because the bishop protects the queen. And after pawn takes knight, much the same thing. Queen check. The bishop guards here, so the king must go to d7, and now that is mate. Notice again, the bishop guards the queen. Wow, that's two really, really brutal games, really, to start off today. Okay. Maybe the next one will be slightly less brutal, because Dr. Dave has called it a quiet clearance. And we've got Miskinis against Kuble, a correspondence game from 1984. So correspondence again, played by post. So you wouldn't think if players were playing by post that they'd make horrible blunders, because they should have time to work things out, but maybe not. Knight f3, knight c6, d4, ed4, knight d4, knight f6, knight c3, all very normal looking stuff so far, g6, bishop, yeah, never a big fan of that in this position because it just weakens the dark squares too much, I think, but what do I know? I'm just an amateur. D6, and in this position here, Dr. Dave, you can see it's gone up to 2.5. This is not a good position for black. Dr. Dave's written, white would like to play knight to d5 and queen to d4, pinning. So the knight vacates. So what's the move here that is really, really, really strong? Well, knight takes c6. Now, why is this so deadly? Remember, this move here has removed a defender from the knight, making this pin potentially really dangerous. That move has attacked the queen. So clearly black's going to recapture because you kind of got no choice. And now queen here. Not queen here. Okay. What's been misread here? Knight takes c6, it says 1-0. So I've missed something somewhere. What have I missed? Oh, e5 must be better than d4. It must be here that wins. Yeah, it's e5. So that hits the knight in another way. And if you play pawn takes pawn, then you've got queen takes, king takes, bishop takes knight, which is a fork on the bishop and the rook. Okay, cool. So I wasn't kidding when I said I did this live. That's a classic example of what I mean, because I just looked at the position and went, well, queen d4, then you're hitting the knight twice. But that just doesn't work, does it? Because if you think about it, everything's defended and the position's just dead level. So actually, yeah, much better. After knight takes, pawn takes, actually e5 is the way to do it. And that's +3, oops, is a +3 near enough, +2.5, +3 advantage for white. Okay, wow. That's 3 pretty dramatic games to kick off the video. So they're clearance sacrifices. In this instance, by the way, it was a clearance sacrifice because ultimately the possibility of queen here later in the combination. Okay, interesting one from Dr. Dave. Let's get a new board. and go over to the next one, which is, we've got two games here, and these are Intermezzi and Zwischenzugs, and they're Italian and German words that basically mean an in-between move. So there isn't really a word in that for English. So in chess, we just call it a Zwischenzug or an intermezzo. What that means is you're halfway through a dangerous looking combination, but you need a little quiet move in there somewhere just to sort of finish the job. So we'll just see a couple of examples. So this one, we haven't got player names. We've got the year 2000, but we don't have the player names. So let's see what happens here. So e4, oh, turn the lines off for the minute. E5, bishop to c4, knight to f6, and d4. E takes d4, knight to f3, knight takes e4. Oh, that looks horribly risky, but the computer says it's level, so okay. Queen takes d4, knight to d6. Yeah, advantage to white now by +1 and a bit. Castles, knight takes bishop. Okay, I suspect, yeah, there it goes. There goes the bar. Knight takes bishop is not going to do it. Because there's an intermezzo. So instead of just playing queen takes, which looks obvious, white inserts another move into the proceedings. And the other move is rook to e1 check. So he's not capturing the knight straight away, but rook to e1 check. And now the only move that makes any sense for black is bishop to e7. And now we've got another intermezzo. We don't take the knight. Queen takes g7. Rook to f8 because it's the only way to defend the rook. And now bishop to h6 is actually winning comfortably. So we've inserted a different move into the proceedings from the one that's expected. And now why is this winning? Well, there's basically no way to save the rook. The bishop isn't really protecting it because of the pin. And there's actually nothing much black can do to prevent queen takes. Sorry, not this move, because obviously it's black's turn, but queen here. I guess you could try to do this, but you're still going to just get captured. This doesn't look much fun at all. I'm just putting moves on the board, sort of a little bit of guesswork, but I mean, yeah, ouch. Is queen takes queen just winning anyway? Is queen takes queen just good enough? Let's have a look. Queen takes pawn is better. Okay, queen takes pawn, I suppose, because then you're still pinning the bishop and you're threatening here. What on earth's black going to play here? Not a lot. Resigns, probably. Probably the best move there for black. Okay. Cool. Right, and our last one for this video here. We've got another in-betweener in a very tactical variation, says Dr. Dave. Okay, we don't have the player names here, but it doesn't matter. So e4, e5. Knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to c4, knight to f6, d4, ed4, knight d4, and knight takes e4. Oh my goodness, what a mess this is. So the computer sat there laughing at us and telling us that it's just level, but if you were playing this as a human, boy, it's complicated. Bishop takes, king takes. Computer still thinks black's fine here. Queen to h5 check. Watch for the bar to jump, because at some point black's going to mess this up. g6. Queen to d5 check. King to g7. And knight takes c6. Okay, so at this point, black is absolutely fine. I keep doing that. It's very frustrating. In fact, if anything, is slightly better. But now plays an in-between move that maybe doesn't work. Black hopes to save his other knight with an in-between move. So instead of capturing here first, black plays an in-between move. Knight to f6. It's an in-between move. So it's attacking the queen first, but of course it doesn't quite work. Why does it not? Well, if knight takes d8, knight takes d5, that's great news for black. Black's very happy with that. But in fact, it doesn't quite work. White has an in-between move, which saves their own queen and means there's time to win the black queen. And this is one where it's a really good idea to press pause and see if you can find it. So press pause if you'd like to have a go at finding the right move. It's a tough one to find this, but a brilliant intermezzo move. Otherwise, I will carry on in 3, 2, and 1. Now, the point is, the white knight is attacking the black queen. If the white queen wasn't attacked, then white would just be able to win a queen. So here's what we do. Bishop to h6, check. Black has to deal with the check. He can't just move the king because these two squares are guarded. So king takes bishop is forced. And now we can play queen to d2, check. Again, black has to get out of check. And now we've got time to take the queen. Wow, that was some interesting chess today. 5 really quite clever games played there. Very interesting stuff from Dr. Dave. So the next video when I come back is going to be on combinations. So this is going to be where we have a series of these forcing moves and possibly with some different themes mixed together. So going to be quite interesting and a bit more complicated. All right, hope this is all being very, very helpful. And thanks for watching. See you next time.